Don't let this happen to you. Take the time to research a place to move to, especially one of the most expensive places in the US. Pick up your family, move to that new place just to learn that you don't really like it. And later decide, maybe even a year later, to sell your new home to move back where you came from. We've actually had that happen to friends before, and I want to keep you from making that same mistake. My name is Dan Parker with the Best Life Home Team, and myself and my team, we're real estate agents that specialize in helping people relocate to San Diego. So we've helped hundreds, if not thousands, of people moving to San Diego through all of the resources that we provide. Personally, we've helped 105 people since 2022 relocate to San Diego, and I've learned a lot from their experiences. Between their expectations versus reality, the common mistakes that they made, and of course, figuring out what is the perfect neighborhood for their budget, for their criteria, and for their lifestyle. Which, by the way, that's why I wrote a book. You can find it on Amazon if you want a hard copy just like this, or I have a free download option available, PDF or Kindle version for all my fans, and heck, all my trolls as well. Just take a look below. I have a link where you can find this digital copy for free. But let's get right into this. So why San Diego in general? Now, you're probably watching this video. You probably have an idea of why people want to move to San Diego. You probably want to move to San Diego yourself. You have the white sandy beaches, miles and miles of white sandy beaches. You have fantastic weather near year round. The people are laid back. The culture is amazing. Yes, it is expensive. Yes, there are some negatives and some downsides and some things that you should know. But there's a reason why it's such a popular place to live. So if you want to avoid not liking where you're living, of course, we need to help you figure out what neighborhood, what area is going to be the best for you. So if we want to help you avoid not liking San Diego, a lot of that has to do with where specifically in San Diego you decide to live. Our neighborhoods are very diverse. So figuring out the best neighborhood for you, your family, for your budget, for all those things is crucial. And so I have a couple different steps that I can help you figure this process out. The easiest way to think about this is you break it down into 3 different steps. By the way, I've done a whole video just on these 3 steps, which I'm going to link here. I'll link at the end of the video as well, so you can get into more detail on exactly what these steps are and how they work, exactly the process that I use for every single one of our clients. Step number 1 is going to be the early planning and research phase. So you can think anywhere from 6 months to 12 months out plus. I mean, I've had people reach out 5 years, 4 years, 5 years before making a move, and that's totally fine. You can do it as far in advance as you want. Just know that obviously there's a potential of a lot of things changing in that amount of time. If you want to buy a house, I mean, right now in 2025, home values are almost double what they were in 2020. I don't mean to laugh. I mean, it's absolutely crazy and terrible in a lot of senses that home values are so expensive. Of course, all my clients that have their homes have appreciated, that's what I want for everyone else too. I hope that you have the opportunity to buy here if you want to buy here, and you have the opportunity for that home value to continue to increase over time. But I digress. So step number 1 is going to be the early planning and research phase, 6 to 12 months out. This is where you're just starting to do your research. You're watching your videos. You're reading your book. You're doing all these things to try and learn more about San Diego in general, try and learn more about the specific neighborhoods that you like. And all of this part of this stage of the process can be done from afar. There's so many resources out there now, from this channel to other channels, to the subreddit Living in San Diego. I mean, there's a lot that you can find out there. The second stage is going to be the mid stage, and that's the neighborhood discovery. Now, this is the stage somewhere around 2 to 6 months out. Again, it kind of depends how far out you're starting this search, but once you have the opportunity to physically go out to San Diego, my goal for you is not to find the perfect house, but to find the perfect neighborhood or neighborhoods. What neighborhoods do you like? What neighborhoods don't you like? Maybe even more important. So getting that concrete evidence, not just of online and through your research, what do you like and what don't you like, actually physically visiting those areas to see where you think you'd fit in. And then of course, the final stage is the home search. And depending on what the market is looking like, that could be 2 months to 4 months out, anywhere within that range. We can start your home search. We could do virtual tours. We could do in-person tours. We could do a hybrid of both. Between myself, whoever you decide to work with, or even if you're looking for a rental, we'll kind of get into all that information here in a second. So if during your relocation, you are wanting to buy a home in San Diego, find someone that specializes in relocation. There's a handful of us out there. There's 30,000 real estate agents in San Diego. I would say less than 1% specialize in relocation. But it's really important to know that someone can help guide you expertly on the neighborhoods that make the most sense, that give you the insights from an insider's perspective that they didn't realize that you don't have in the first place, which is what we're going to get to in this video here in a second as well. And then with that resource, you can start to develop your timeline for what makes sense for you to start your research, to start your neighborhood discovery, and to actually start your home search. And if you're renting, I have bad news. You're probably not going to be able to find a rental until 30 days ahead of time. So you can start to look to see what's out there. But I know we want to plan these things out. I have a lot of clients that 4 to 6 months out, they start looking for rentals and there's nothing, because there's nothing that posts that far out when it comes to rentals. Usually it's within 30 days. Sometimes it's within 2 weeks. So you just have to be a little bit patient on that aspect. Do your research, do your due diligence. Zillow is going to be the number one source for rentals. And then also property management sites. You can look and you can Google to find out what are the top property management sites or top property managers in the area I want to live, and then go on their individual sites. Sometimes they'll have some off-market properties that you can find exclusively on their site. So we have to talk about obviously some common mistakes, some transition tips for you if you're considering this move, because this is where a lot of what I've learned from my clients, this is what drives the most activity and the most pain and frustration in their research and in their move. And number one is usually going to be wanting too much. It almost doesn't matter what your budget is in San Diego, you're going to have to sacrifice or compromise on something. So if you want a walkable neighborhood, you want a 5 or 6 bedroom minimum house, you want to be close to the beach, you want new construction, you want a great school district, all 5 of those doesn't exist in San Diego. You're going to have to compromise on something. More than likely, maybe you could get 3 of those if you have a healthy budget. So San Diego County, it's about the lifestyle. That's what's important. There are some fantastic homes, some beautiful homes, some amazing homes. But really, you need to focus on what are your needs, what are your wants? What are you prioritizing? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to compromise on? And once you start to do your research in that research phase, you can obviously look online and see what homes are going for. You start to get a sense of what makes sense and what doesn't make sense for you, for your family, for your budget, for your lifestyle goals, all those things. The next mistake a lot of my clients have made, and this is actually kind of a funny one, is getting rid of all of your winter clothes. You do not want to get rid of all your winter clothes because you think San Diego is a warm 75 degrees year round. Now we have great weather. Of course we have great weather, but it's not like that at all. I mean, winter can get pretty cold. Obviously we don't have snow, but it's going to be cold enough to where there are days where you're going to want your heavy jackets. Not every day, not a lot of rain, no snow, but there are some mornings where you wake up and it's 40 degrees. That's pretty chilly. Another mistake my clients run into a lot is bringing too much furniture to San Diego. I'm looking at you, Texas. When you're coming from a 3,000 or 4,000 square foot home and the budget you have in San Diego, the style of homes that you're looking at in San Diego are closer to 1,500 or 2,000 square feet, obviously you probably have too much stuff. And you're gonna have to figure out what can you bring and what can't you bring. We have some clients that just moved from Germany. They had a 3,200 square foot home. They moved into a 1,400 square foot home here in San Diego with a healthy budget, but they had a neighborhood, specific neighborhood they wanted to live in. They love the lifestyle, and that's what's most important to them. But they know they have an entire shipment of furniture and stuff coming that they pre-planned ahead of time. They're just going to set up like a garage sale. They're going to start donating a lot of the stuff. So you have to plan that out, and ideally, you don't move it in the first place if it's just too much that doesn't make sense for a smaller home here in San Diego. And I'm going to throw one more bonus mistake that people make is not considering North County, San Diego. If you're moving to San Diego, consider North County. Depending on where you work, it is a wonderful place. And I've made plenty of videos on North County, San Diego. I currently live in Carlsbad. My team works all across San Diego County because we specialize in helping people move here. But if you've never considered North County, check it out. Check it out during your neighborhood discovery because there's some wonderful places in North County. They're a little bit less touristy. They have a little bit more of a locals feel, and there's plenty to do. But by far, my biggest recommendation, if you're considering a move to San Diego, is really start to internalize and figure out what do you value more? A bigger house, nicer things, more of a savings potentially or a retirement, or do you value your lifestyle? Being outdoors, near public parks, near hikes, beaches, having access to pickleball, volleyball, bike rides. I mean, all those things, you can get everything that you want here in San Diego as far as lifestyle. But really figuring out if that's the priority or if it's the bigger house. If you're a couple with a single child and you want a 6-bedroom house, that's going to cost you. And that's probably going to bring you farther away from where you want to be. So just knowing what's important is important. And what I've learned is it doesn't matter if you have a $500,000 budget or a $5 million budget, you are going to sacrifice, you're going to compromise at some level to live here. I personally think it's worth it. Of course, a lot of people that we work with that move out here think that it's worth it. And, primarily the things you're going to have to sacrifice or compromise for are size, style, and location of home, but also potentially having to increase a budget based on exactly what you're looking at. And the nice thing to know is out of the 105 people that we've helped move here to San Diego, only one has moved back. Only one has moved out of San Diego. So I think our track record is actually really good. And although you do have to sacrifice, the lifestyle is amazing. And by the way, there's no right or wrong answers for what is important to you, what do you prioritize. I've lived it myself. Our first home was in La Mesa. It was a little bit farther in, closer to the city. And then we moved to North County, San Diego. We decided we wanted to live closer to the beach, and we've sacrificed. We have a smaller house. We have a much more modest house, but we can ride our bikes down to the beach, and we walk up and down the coast every single week. We go to Carlsbad. We love where we live. We love the proximity. We love the lifestyle. And so you really need to look in on your search and what you're looking for and figure out if that's how you feel as well. If you want more info, check out the book I wrote. Check out the book. I have it for free for you. Sure, you can go on Amazon and order it for less than $10 if you want a physical copy, but I have a free download, both PDF and Kindle, a link down below that you can check out. And if you're pretty sure San Diego is a good fit, but you don't know where to start, you don't know who to talk to, my team and I would love to help you out. So we have a free 30-minute Zoom call or video call, Google Meet call. We call it a discovery session. I have also a link down below where you can schedule time on my calendar and we can have a chat and talk about you and your goals and exactly what you're looking for. See if it's even plausible or makes sense here in San Diego. This is what we're doing all the time. This is what we specialize in. So we'd love to have that conversation. And for more information on the 3 phases you need to know about when you're researching a move to San Diego, check out this video right here. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.